Okay, welcome back everybody, and hello everyone, because this is a new moon reading for 8/8, which is also Lionsgate 2021. But also this is a general understanding of in which ways you can utilize new moon and also full moon energies depending on where it falls in your chart. So in this really short video, I'm going to go through what it means, especially with a new moon, because that's what we're coming into here. So we're going to talk just about new moon and what happens when the new moon lands in the 1st through 12th house. So in order to know what house this new moon is landing in for your chart, you'll need to actually do your own little birth chart, pull it up. I think Cafe Astrology, you can do it, but you could literally just Google birth chart calculator, something of that sort. And you'll be able to put in, you need your birthday plus year, the time that you were born at, so if you need to contact mom or dad, do it, and the place that you were born at. You just need those 3 pieces of information, and then you have access to your own birth chart, which will basically look like a big circle with 12 spaces or houses, or like almost like pizza slices, and all kinds of symbols all over the place. That's what it looks like. And so you need to understand what all the symbols mean in order to really read charts and all the placements, and then there's math involved in angles that create either tension or coherence between things. It's so complex, it's so beautiful. But in this video, I am just going to go through the basics of what it means if this new moon is falling in your 1st house, falling in your 9th house, falling in your 12th house, what have you. Okay? So let's begin. If the new moon is falling in your 1st house, the 1st house is all about self and identity and how you can step into who you are as an individual. This is a very self-ish place, self-centered house, and I know those words have pretty negative connotations to them, and they can be negative at times. However, it's also incredibly valuable to know yourself, to decide who you are. And astrology, I think, gives us this ability to analyze ourselves in all of these different ways and allows us to use our own judgment and our own free will and our own experience in life to see if it fits or not. So if this new moon in Leo is falling in your 1st house, it is all about embracing those Leo-like qualities, those illuminated Leo keyword characteristics of nobility, a king or a queen, a sovereign leader, a very heart-centered, action-oriented, stable and firm, magnificent part of who you are. If you have Leo in the 1st house, you naturally have those capabilities of really being very, very sovereign in your own identity, really being in control of your inner authority, and really showing up in a way that allows you to feel very at home and in alignment with who you are. So if this new moon is falling in that 1st house, you can plant seeds of intention around yourself, who you are, and who you want to become. Hope that helps. All right, if this falls in your 2nd house, this new moon, then that is allowing you to plant seeds of intention around how you can create more financial flow, more prosperity, more of a solid foundation for your life, not only financially but also physically. So it's always a good placement when a new moon happens in the 2nd house. How do I want to create a solid foundation that I can build upon? So take those Leo keyword characteristics from earlier in this reading, and or this reading, yeah, I guess this is a reading, I don't know, earlier in this video, and apply those, that sovereign leader, that really heart-centered, magnificent, like how can you use your magnificence in this new moon, if it falls in your second house, to lay a foundation for your own personal wealth, prosperity, abundance, home life, the foundations that you want to last a lifetime and maybe even longer, like for your children, for children's children. How can you lay that foundation? That's what this new moon is asking for you to plant seeds of intention around if it falls in your second house. Okay, if this new moon falls in your third house, we're still using all those Leo characteristics of magnificence and noble sovereign leader. Sorry for the background noise if you can hear it. My microphone is on the fritz. I think I'm gonna need to get a new one. If this new moon lands in your third house, then you are in a prime position to plant seeds of intention around how can you communicate your ideas? How can you maybe even learn about new things that you're interested in learning about that are going to help you to communicate and share ideas with others in your local community? This is a great new moon, if it falls in your third house, to write. Have you had ideas that you want to get out on paper? Do it. Begin now. This is a great time to initiate the beginning of writing a book, writing your autobiography, writing poetry, writing short stories, anything that helps you spread this magnificence, this warmth, this light, this illumination into the world through written word, through spoken word, and through information that you can learn about. If this new moon falls in your fourth house, then we're still, again, using all the Leo keyword characteristics of magnificence, sovereign leader, nobility, warmth, light, holding the empire safely and in a just way, okay? We're not looking at the shadow sides of Leo of like, look at me, which exist also. Every single sign has an illuminated side and a shadow side, as I call them. The materialistic, flamboyant, look at me, is sometimes more on that shadow side, and so we're not trying to really necessarily plant seeds of intention in this new moon with those characteristics, just so that I'm really clear. Instead, we're really trying to emphasize all of the magnificence, the illumination, literally, of this fire sign, of this heart-centered king or queen, and how we can plant seeds of intention utilizing that energy. So if this falls in your fourth house, this is all about how you can plant seeds of how you want your home life to be. How do you want to be the ruler of your house and home and hearth? How are you very sovereign and noble but loving with your children, or with family members, or with your pets? Anything that lives and resides in the home or comes from the roots of where you are and family life, this new moon is an awesome opportunity for you to plant seeds around, well, how do you want your home life to be? How do you literally, in a physical sense, want your home to look like or feel like when you're in it? But in an emotional, mental, spiritual sense, how do you want to feel safe, warm, inspiring, able to nurture and grow life in the home and in your roots? If this new moon falls in your fifth house, well, that is Leo's natal house. So hello, you are warm and welcome right at home. If you do have Leo in your fifth house natally, then yeah, this sense of how can I really spread joy in the world? how can I not only entertain others and bring a sense of fun and play, but how can I help enable others to feel really confident and inspired in their own ability to play and have fun and entertain too. It's a great new moon for you if you've been wanting to get into acting. Maybe it's been something you've always thought about and you thought, this would be so much fun if I can do this. Go for it. If you want to plant new seeds around even children, if you want children, you know, how do you view yourself as this really fun parent figure? Around inner child healing or wounding from the past. How do you want to plant seeds around how you can touch base with your own inner child and maybe provide that sense of warmth and freedom of fun and play and inspiration to them? If this new moon falls in your 6th house, this is the new moon for you to plant seeds of intention around making your routine more fun. What were the things you were really into as a child, and are they hobbies of yours still that you do kind of on a day-to-day basis? If the answer is no, then this is a great time for you to tap in again to those things that bring you joy, that light you up, that help you feel empowered and inspired in your heart center and in your sovereignty and how you can lead or guide people, but through like your day-to-day interactions. So the workspace, if you are a boss, you have employees, how can you plant some seeds of intention around making work really fun, entertaining even, enjoyable, so that your employees are that much more inspired to do their jobs well, or to enjoy just coming to the workspace because you're so much fun and they really appreciate you and they feel safe because they know that you are the authority and you're not going to, treat them poorly. You are going to protect your kingdom. And so through your routine, through your everyday interactions in the workspace, at the job, or running errands, how can you show up with this fun, playful energy that's very solid in your warmth, in your light, and in your ability to help, maybe it's just when you go to the market, but because you show up with so much fun and warmth, all the people there end up knowing your name and they get excited to see you come in and you make their day. If you have Leo in your 6th house, then you have this in your signature. You have this ability to really show up in those mundane day-to-day, oh yep, gotta go get gas, gotta drop the kids off at this, gotta pick them up, I need to do this, I need to do that. You have the ability of really bringing a lot of light and warmth and inspiration and magnificence to those scenarios. So how can you play with this energy to really bring a lot more fun into that routine so it doesn't feel so mundane? Because if your routine feels mundane and you have Leo in your 6th house, oh, how draining and uninspiring. So if there are any aspects of your day-to-day life that are just kind of like, how can you change that? How can you call in something that brings you to life? How can you, how can you plant these seeds of bringing more fun into your own routine? All right, if this new moon falls in your 7th house, this is all about how you can bring this sense of warmth and magnificence to your partner and your partnerships. This is romantic partnership. This is also business partnership. You don't necessarily have to be in partnership of any kind, but how do you want partnership? When you think about partnership, what's the ideal? If you have Leo in your 7th house, most likely you want partnership to be fun and entertaining. You want to be able to go out together and have a good time. You want to be able to go out and people know who you are because you're so consistent in how you just light the room up. How can you light your partner up? By lighting yourself up. How can you view yourself as this partner that brings a sense of sovereignty, of leadership, of warmth, of joy, literally the sun shining? How can you bring more sunlight into your partnerships? This is the new moon to do it for you if you have Leo in your 7th house. Specifically, this new moon's at 16 degrees, so that'll be helpful. So if 16 degrees Leo falls in your 7th house, this one's all about planting seeds of partnership. Whether you're in one or not, what's the ideal? How can you move into that? If this new moon at 16 degrees Leo falls in your 8th house, this is all about transformation. This is about alchemy. This is about the release of what is no longer working and the opening up, the unfoldment, the rebirth into a new sense of magnificence, a sense of the phoenix rising and using the warmth of this Leo sun to really help you to burn away anything that isn't serving you and to be reborn like the phoenix in this more magnificent sovereign alchemist, sovereign leader. There's also an opportunity to really look at your ability to be a very passionate lover, because the 8th house does also have connections to sex. So if you've been uninspired in the bedroom and you have 16 degrees Leo in your 8th house, then this new moon is the new moon to plant those seeds, either literally or figuratively. Take it how it resonates. But like, how can you rebirth yourself into spicing it up in the bedroom, having more fun and passion, and maybe being the king or the queen, being the one in charge. Okay, ooh. If you have Leo at 16 degrees in your 9th house, then this new moon is all about how you can plant seeds of intention around expansion. Expanding either in a spiritual sense, expanding in an educational sense. If you want to go back to school and you have Leo at 16 degrees in your 9th house, this is a great time to plant those seeds, to take those action steps, enroll, apply for schools, start making phone calls with people who work at those schools or who have been to those schools, and pick their brains and see if this is really something that sounds right for you. This is also a new moon for you to expand, spirituality, higher education or continued education, and then long distance travel. I know that the world is wonky, and it kind of has been for a little bit, but people are still traveling, and like long distance travel. So have you been feeling stuck and you have Leo at 16 degrees in your 9th house? This is a very wonderful omen and bodes well for you if you want to travel somewhere else in the world. It could be even a move to some place that is farther away. It's not like a neighboring town. Maybe you're wanting to literally move to a new part of the state or the country or the world that is more than a few hours of a drive away. This is a great time to begin putting those offers out there on houses, or literally just packing up and going. So what do you want your expanded kingdom to look like? This new moon is all about your expansion. Okay? If Leo is at 16 degrees in your 10th house, then this new moon is for you to plant seeds around your career, around how you want to show up in the world around you and give back, around how you want to create an empire of your own and really feel very confident in your authority, in your sovereignty, that you can really create a legacy through the work that you are passionate about and that lights you up and that comes from your heart, but also your strength and your own magnificence. You have the ability with this new moon, again, if it falls at 16 degrees Leo in your 10th house, then this new moon is about you rising up and creating an identity for yourself out in the world based off of the work that you're providing, that you're giving. Again, sovereign leadership super shows up in this house. How can you provide not just a safe place for employees to work, but a legacy, a product or a service that is meant to bring light and warmth and magnificence to the world in the best ways possible. That is also fun and entertaining. Anywhere that Leo shows up, whatever house Leo is for you in your chart, it is about, yes, sovereignty, magnificence, and heart-centered leadership and all of this warmth. But it is also like, how can you play? How can you have fun with this? How can you be childlike, not childish, but childlike? So if it falls in your 10th house, how can you really have fun with creating your empire? Okay, if Leo, 16 degrees, falls in your 11th house, then this is all about how you can step onto stage with your ability to be magnificent, charismatic, entertaining, fun, a storyteller, but with the agenda or intention of educating, disseminating information to the group. You're on stage not just to like entertain and let people escape from their problems. You are on stage to really grab the attention of others with your Leo-ness, but with the intention and the goal of empowering them through their minds, through how they can transform themselves, how they can move into a more advanced state, a new wave, a futuristic, this is about the future here. This is about how we can be more sustainable, how we can make sure that this warmth and this light of this information is not only entertaining so it sticks, because we know that when we were in school, like if the presenter was super boring, even if it was the best info ever, it could be like, and so for you, 11th house Leo, how can you take these ideas and information that is meant to better the group, but really, really have fun with it and let people, feel really involved in this and inspired to learn and inspired to get on board with sustainability, with new advances in technology, new advances in mentality, in the thought process. This is also a great new moon for you to plant seeds around your hopes and dreams for the world. What are they? Begin now. All right, and last but not least, if this new moon in Leo at 16 degrees falls in your 12th house, this is how you can show up either in your spiritual community, the church, temple, your moon circles, your tarot club, your astrology cronies, whatever. Like, how can you show up in your woo-woo-ness and bring fun and bring light into it and bring warmth and that sunshine into that ethereal realm? How can you bring, and this will be very Piscean, this will be very creative, this will be very intuitive, but it's like, how can you, with your Leo-ness in your 12th house, really expand into this sovereign spiritual leader, this guide for others, helping people feel safe, and like spirituality can be really fun. We're literally tapping into this like sunlight essence and disseminating it into the ethers. So if you have goals to become more connected spiritually, this is a great new moon for you to explore that and to really have fun with it again, because it's Leo, it's Leo, it's Leo. Leo is fun. Leo's magnificent. Leo is a sovereign leader. Leo holds it down. Leo cares from the heart for the empire that they create. And so how can you create a space where people can come to and feel excited about their own sovereign connection to source, to God, whether they're religious or not? It doesn't matter in the spiritual house, which is the 12th house. All that matters is that you find your own connection to source. So, for those of you with 16 degrees Leo in the 12th house, this new moon is about how can you make it fun and safe for people to expand into that light, that warmth, that essence of creation and source and things that are beyond, that we can't always see but we can sense. You're here to make it fun and safe for others to dive into their spirituality and their creativity. And we've made it back around. So that is this new moon at Leo in 16 degrees, going through each of the houses. And I hope that helps. I hope that was fun and insightful. If you would like me to read your chart for you, it is my favorite thing to do in the world. My heart just went woo when I said that. It truly is. I'm really interested in many, many things. If you've been kind of connected to me for a while or following me or figuring it out, like I'm an Aries. I'm into a lot of things. But there's nothing in this world, work-wise or service-wise or soul fulfillment-wise, that literally lights me up or makes me feel more on path than reading individuals' birth charts and pointing out the ways that you have all of these gifts and strengths to share with the world, and how you can feel really sovereign in yourself. 16 degrees, I think it literally falls in my 9th house. So I'm going to rewatch and go back to the 9th house new moon part of this reading for my own intention setting on Sunday. But I do have a lot of Leo in my 10th house as well, and again, like my whole thing is helping you feel empowered in your sovereignty and in your individual gifts, so that you can really create what you want to with the direction of your life that benefits you and also others. Okay, so if you are interested, email me queenofwandsandstars@gmail.com, and otherwise I will see you guys in another video. Okay, happy new moon, happy Lionsgate.